Alright, welcome back to the channel. We are Level 1 Online. So I want to share with you guys the pickups, the retro video game pickups that I got while I was in Japan. So we're going to start with the Rockman games. This is Rockman 7. I got this for 1,300 yen, which is roughly about $8.30. I got this at a store called Friends. Next game on the list is Rockman X. I paid 2280 yen for this, which roughly is about $14.50. I got this at a store called Retro Game Camp. And yeah, I'm looking at the, there's a little bit of yellowing on this. All the Mega Man X or Rockman X games in that store had yellowing on them, but it was the only store I could find in the area for the lowest price possible. Next, we have Rockman X2. I got two copies of these at Friends. One of them was 1,800 yen. The other one was 2,000 yen. So 1,800 yen is 1150, and 2,000 yen is 1275. I'm not too sure why they're priced differently. When I look at them, they look exactly alike. I don't see any differences, any yellowing or quality differences. So I'm curious to find out what is going on when I test them. Right here we have a couple copies of Rockman X3. I got this for 1,800 at Friends, and I got this copy for 2,200 at Friends. So 1,800 once again is 1150, and 2,200 is $14. Not a bad price. This copy right here I got for 2,420 at Mandarake Complex, and that comes out to $15.40. I do want to mention this. I highly recommend this store right here, Mandarake Complex. It was a little hard for me to find because I don't know, it's just I didn't recognize the building when I saw it. The inside of it is pretty amazing. It's very spacious on the inside. They got everything organized. Okay, so this place is called Mandarake Complex. Look at these games, Super Nintendo games, Super Famicom games in box. Beautiful store. Like, I just went to Super Potato. Everything was overpriced. Everything was super cluttered, and there was an abundance of Westerners. What is this? Muscle Bomber. 770. Maybe I'll get it. Nice. But yeah, I gotta figure out what some of you guys out there want so I can pick something up. I did actually step into Super Potato, and I got a couple pictures of some of the game prices in there. So I noticed that Rockman X2 was $32.78, $20.90, same price as Rockman 7. Rockman X3 at Super Potato was 38.28 yen, which is $24.40. And speaking of which, while I was in there, I did notice a couple other games. I noticed they had a copy of Mother 2 for 5808 yen, which is roughly $37. They also had a copy of Super Metroid for 6,028 yen, which is $38.40. And they had the one and only place I saw a copy of Captain Commando. That was 8,228, which is $52.40. So next up on the list, I have a copy here of Super Mario Kart and Super Mario RPG. I picked these both up at a place called Nakano Broadway, which I would describe as like on the outskirts of Tokyo, and it really reflects in the price. So 780 yen is roughly $5, and 980 yen is roughly $6.25. I got another copy of Mario Kart at Mandarake Complex for 1,000 yen, which roughly translates to $6.40. So a couple years ago, I gave away my copy of Donkey Kong Country 2 to my buddy T-Belly, and I really missed that game, even though it was very frustrating, and I wanted to get it back in my collection, so I decided to get a copy for me and a copy for somebody out there who might need it. So this is 800 yen, and this copy was 1,000 yen. So once again, 800 yen is $5.10. 1,000 yen is $6.40, and I got this at the store called Friends. Next up, this is a series I always wanted to try. This is called the Goemon series. So I got part 1, part 2, and part 3 right here. So part 1 I got for 660 yen, which is $4.20. One of the cheapest games that I got on my trip. I got this at Mandalay Complex. I got this one at Mandalay Complex as well, 1800 yen, which is $11.50. Then I got part 3 at Friends. This is 2000 yen, which is $12.75. Alright, so next up, I decided I've always wanted to have the original Street Fighter 2, even though I'm a huge fan of Turbo, and that's the one I play the most. But I just wanted to have this in my collection just for nostalgic purposes. So this is 800 yen, which is $5.10. I got this at Mandalay Complex. This one, Super Street Fighter 2, 1000 yen, which is $6.40. I got this at Friends. So I also decided to pick up some SNK games. I did see Samurai Spirits, but you know, that particular game, I remember renting that back in the day and being very disappointed with the size of the sprites. But I just decided to get these, even though they probably don't perform as good as the arcade. But it was a really good price. So this is Fatal Fury 1, 660 yen, $4.20. Got this at Mandalay Complex. This is Fatal Fury 2, 990 yen, $6.30, Mandalay Complex. And what's pretty cool is that in some of the stores, when you purchase a game, let me grab one for example. Let's see, Friends. They put a little paid sticker on it to signify that you already bought it to prevent like shoplifting. But what they did in this store is they just sealed my bag. So this is right here. This is Art of Fighting 2. And this was probably the most expensive game that I got on my whole trip. This is $29.70, which is $18.90, Mandalay Complex. As you can see, I got a lot of games at Mandalay. I asked the attendant there. I told him I like fighting games. I like beat 'em up games. You know, I don't know Japanese, but can you recommend some games that I won't need to know the language? One of the games he recommended was this right here, King of the Monsters. 1320 yen, which is $8.40. He also recommended this right here. This is called The Great Battle 3, 1980 yen, $12.60. And this is Super Genjin 2. It would have been called Super Bonk 2 if it came to North America. It never did. 1650 yen, which is $10.50. It was the last original Bonk game that came out. Yep. Last up, we got some really solid beat 'em ups right here. So this is Batman Returns, 1650 yen, $10.50. Got this at Mandalay Complex. This is Muscle Bomber, also known as Saturday Night Slam Masters, 770 yen, $4.90. Last one, I'm very proud of this one. I could not find part 3, but I did find this one. This is Final Fight 2, 1,280 yen, so it's $8.15. Pristine condition. I got this one at Retro Game Camp. So I got some honorable mentions I'd like to share. So this is a Super Famicom controller in pristine condition. They actually had one brand new for $25 American. This one I got for 1,000 yen, which is about $6.40. I also got these games right here at a store called Book Off, and these games are in absolute pristine condition. I paid 264 yen, which is roughly about $1.60. And guess what? These two games right here, Star Ocean and Infinite Undiscovery, they are backwards compatible on the Series X. And I tell you what, the condition these games are in, pristine condition, amazing. Last game right here, this is BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. Even though there's a couple, there's tons of versions of this game, like I said, you can't go wrong with $1.60. Just a couple more miscellaneous things I want to show off. So I found this in one of the stores. This was like 3,000 yen, I believe, but it looks amazing. Akira Toriyama recently passed away, and I noticed that the prices on this type of art was going up in price. This looks absolutely amazing in person. So yeah. Something else I got some what's called acrylics. What they do is they kind of just stand on their own like that. So this is from the Samurai Showdown series. Here's another one right here. Those acrylics were roughly about $4 each. I got them at the Odaiba Diver City Mall. So I got these figures right here, these Dragon Ball Z figures. These were fairly cheap. These were maybe like $8 each. So this is Bardock, and this is Super Piccolo, and then this is Majin Vegeta. So I wanted to get something unique, you know, because they have tons of Gokus everywhere. I didn't want to be typical and just get a Goku. So I went for just out of the ordinary. And like I said, fairly cheap price, like $8 and under. If you go to like one of the used figure shop, which they had a ton of them on the outskirts of Tokyo. Alright, so last thing I want to show off is I did get like some artwork. So I got this at the official Capcom store. So it's maybe like $4 or $5. You know, in case you're out there wondering why I didn't get like complete in-box games, you got to understand, on the flight back, there is a weight and size limit, you know, in the suitcase. I couldn't go over 50 pounds. So this is why I kept it light. I stuck to more like, you know, really light plastic and loose plastic and artwork. I also got this at the Capcom store. This was around like, I think 15 bucks. This is just like a carrying case, a Rockman X carrying case. Curious, what do I got in here? Oh, we got GBA games in there. Alright, so yeah, those are my Japan pickups. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna try and make a vlog with all the footage. If it comes out good, I'll go ahead and publish it. If not, just try and catch me on the next live stream, and you can ask me whatever you want about Tokyo, Japan. I had a blast. It was amazing, and I fully intend to go back. And I actually have one last thing I can show. Hold on. I went to a gachapon machine, and I got one of these at the Capcom store. It's maybe like, I don't know, 500 yen. Yep. All right, you guys have a good one. Peace.